Welcome back to the second half of this challenge, in which a Chinese team, led by our first ever Patreon supporter, Kinpin Chu, take on a team from our favourite play platform, IntoBridge.com. After the first 4 boards, the Chinese team are leading by 6 imps, but there's still everything to play for in the concluding 4 boards. Let's rejoin the action at table 1 for board 5.
And on board 5 we see Stefan in the north seat with the normal looking weak 2 in spades.
In the balancing seat, 2 no trumps doesn't show a particularly strong hand. My spade holding isn't perfect, but I can't think of a better bid.
No, indeed, I can't think of a better bid either. Experts tend to agree here that even if you have a point more or maybe a point less than your agreement is, it's still by far the best bid to show the overall structure of your hand. For East-West, it's important to know, as the Chinese I'm sure do, if you play system on here after 2 no trumps. If they do, I expect 3 diamonds as a transfer to 3 hearts. So this is taking the chance here to show some diamond values, and in modern bridge you often get away with this because, as we can see here, redouble is not to play anymore, but I played rubber bridge for 10 years and I know that if they stick a redouble on this with ace queen jack to 4 or 5 over you and make a couple of over tricks in 3 diamonds redouble, it's not so pleasant. I think actually more the point here is that if the opponents end up in 3 no trumps, are you really sure that you want a diamond lead rather than a spade?
Now I have an opportunity to show my extra strength and my support for partners' hearts. I don't think partners 4 diamonds is a retransfer, but it shouldn't be a problem to read it that way.
Reading the ace of spades looks like the obvious thing to do. However, partner doubled 3 diamonds for diamond lead. And I don't know if I should hurry with those spades anyway, because if I can take any, I can do that later. And also it's better if partner plays it, if partner has something like jack the button, for example, so we can finesse declare. Or I may need to play diamonds twice. I hope partner has 4 cards in hearts, so we have a better chance to defeat the contract.
Okay, my junior partner Peter Fredin, he would say if God deals you ace king in a suit, he wants you to lead it. I think leading a high spade here, just telling partner what the hand looks like, taking a look at dummy and telling partner that you do have ace king in your suit is a fairly standard lead. But okay, partner has asked for a diamond. But it's worth noticing that even against 4 hearts, a diamond lead is much more comfortable for the declarer than a couple of rounds of spades would have been. He won't have any trouble in this, of course. He's got 5 hearts and 4 clubs and 2 diamonds and can even try and rough a diamond in the shorthand. So we're talking about 11, possibly 12 tricks. Declarer after 3rd diamond high because Stefan in the north seed had actually indicated a possible doubleton diamond. He led mud, middle from 3, and then followed with the deuce. So it looked like a possible doubleton. So the Chinese East-West pair will score a comfortable 450. They lost a spade and a trump trick. And then we have moved over to the other table where, somewhat surprisingly, North decides to pass the weak 2 spade opening first in hand. Again, this is all down to style and personal preferences. Maybe he doesn't have a bid in his system that suits the hand.
2 hearts here is a transfer to spades in our system.
Okay, unusual. As a general rule, it would be preferable to open on the 2 level and let the opponent start bidding on the 3 level, rather than passing and allowing them to exchange some information and then come in.
W shows a balanced hand. If partner has 2 or more spades, then opponents are 6-1 in spades, so I feel okay with my stopper. Let's see how Trino turn goes.
Okay, so this transfer preempt has created some problems for East-West. Now, many people know that I play 3-0 trumps more than most people, and I've therefore gone off in more 3-0 trumps than almost anyone alive, I should think. And if I had to guess with the West hand in a cramped auction, I would also guess on 3-0 trumps, but I don't see really here why he has to jump to 3-0 trumps and why he couldn't consult partner by bidding 2-0 trumps, if that's possible in his methods, of course. So now when he insisted on 3-0 trumps, it turned out not to be the best spot in the world. Nothing much will happen. The defense will take their 6 spades and the declare will have the rest because he has 5 hearts and 2 aces. But they're just making sure. So the end result will be 2 off, that's 100 to north-south, to go with the more normal looking 450 at the other table, and that's 11 imps to the Chinese team.
And of course, that's exactly what's going to happen here. No shock developments, I'm afraid, and the target for the IntoBridge team to chase has now increased to 17 imps with 3 boards to go. Let's see what the next hand has in store back at table 1.
And we move to board 6, where East has opened a club. Desi will get in with a heart, surely.
What a great hand, but how do I bid it? If I double to show spades, I might struggle later to show my shape and strength, so I'll bid diamonds first and force for 1 round.
Here we play 3 hearts as preemptive bid with 4 cards in hearts, but I don't like to bid that with 4 3-3 because the strength of the 4 trump is also that you get something to rough, and this is not the case when you've got 4 3-3, and despite the good vulnerability, I'll just bid 2 hearts here.
Partners 3 diamonds is really good news. We might have no loser in diamonds or only one. Maybe we'll play in 5 diamonds, but I'd like to try 4 spades first. I don't really mind how partner interprets this. With 3 fairly poor spades in a balanced hand, I won't be much help to partner in 4 spades, so I prefer 5 diamonds.
And north-south has been in the bidding all the way up to 4 hearts, but east-west has quite naturally settled for 5 diamonds. In 5 diamonds, West is off the ace of trumps and the ace of hearts. He's got problems in the black suits, primarily spades. He can play south for queen and 10 and take 2 finesses in spades, or he can try and drop queen doubleton somewhere. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now things change quite a bit. The player is going to find out that trumps are 3-0, and the option of dropping queen doubleton spade is much less attractive now because you have to do something with the fourth spade in your hand as well. If trumps were 2-1, you could just expect to rough it eventually in dummy, but with trumps 3-0, that's going to be more complicated. So you will have to do something with the clubs to produce an extra trick as well. And also, with the ace of diamonds in the weak north hand, it's much more likely that south has the queen of spades and that south is longer in spades. So he's already leaning towards finessing for queen 10 of spades in the south hand, but he doesn't have to make up his mind yet. He makes a nice play here. It doesn't cost him anything to rough a heart back to hand and play another diamond up and just see what Stefan is going to do. And when Stefan now plays a spade, he's actually helping the player in making this decision. It now becomes quite obvious that he should play for south to have queen 10 of spades. The spade switch is a slight mistake from Stefan. They have two tricks already, and if partner has the ace of spades or the king of clubs, they're going to beat the hand anyway. And this is a massive 600 for East-West. They'll be very pleased with this result. And then we go to the other table where Shivko in the East seat will open a diamond because of their precision clubs system. And that is sure to make his partner quite excited. South will either come in with a heart or use a two-suited bid. West makes sure of not missing a possible 4-4 spade fit by starting with a double. He's going to bid a large number of diamonds at some point, that's for sure. Pass by North is surprising in my view. I would have no trouble jumping to 3 hearts and preempting the opponents and showing partner a weak hand with 4-card support. We don't know if 2 diamonds from West is forcing in their methods or whether he's just hoping that the bidding will continue, which it will most of the time. Again, I believe that North should do a little bit more than 2 hearts. When partner has a big hand with shape, 5-5, 6-5, 6-4, he needs to know that he's got 4 trumps opposite.
My double was showing 4 or 5 spades, so partner should normally have exactly 2 cards in spades for bidding 1 no trump. I'm tempted to bid 5 diamonds now. I will pray partner to have some aces and test my luck.
Okay, a hand like West 7-4-1-1 is obviously very, very difficult to describe, and there's nothing wrong in just bidding what you hope you can make. And they will land in the same 5 diamonds as the other table did, but played from the East hand this time. South leads the obvious ace of hearts, and with the singleton in dummy, many pairs like to play some sort of suit preference signal, so a low heart would indicate that he'd rather have a club switch than a spade switch, which is fair enough. South has now got a very tricky play to the next trick. He doesn't want to lead the spade away from queen 10-1. He's worried about setting up hearts in the Clare's hand by leading more hearts. And a club into the Clare's hand is not tempting either. Let's see what he comes up with.
After the ace of hearts lead, I can see that I have one loser in each red suit and a potential loser in spades. Looks like I will have to either finesse queen 10 or play for a doubleton queen.
After this hesitation before trick 2, there's one thing that East declarer can be certain of, and that's that the queen of spades is with South, otherwise a spade switch would have come rather rapidly.
After this club return, My entries are limited, and it feels like I need to play the Jack of Spades immediately. Because North only beat 2 hearts, I'm thinking that South has 6 of them, plus the 4 clubs shown in the bidding. I'm rather playing South to have Queen doubleton in spades. Maybe I can optimize the play if South has a singleton spade and a singleton ace of diamonds. I can play a spade to the ace, taking South's entry out. Almost impossible, but I will play for a drop anyway. Let's see.
Yeah, that's the mark of a very, very good player. It doesn't matter if it's almost impossible or not. He's looking for every small extra chance. So what he's hoping for here is that South is 6-5 with a singleton spade and a singleton ace of diamonds. So he's going to play spade to the ace and the diamond and hope that South gets himself unplayed. It's unrealistic on this occasion because South would have switched to singleton spade rather than club away from the king. But it's interesting to see how a good player looks at the hand. And having already played a spade to the ace, there's now no chance of picking up the spades. And he will finish one down. De Cler is still hopeful that the queen of spades might drop. He thinks hearts are 6-4 and that South could be 6-5-2-0. But this wasn't the case. We already said that the 600 at the other table was a monster result for the Chinese, and so it proved, and it will bring them 12 imps.
Oh dear, 29-0. Not the kind of knife-edge situation that we like to see at this point in the match in order to maintain the dramatic tension. It is still technically possible for the IntoBridge team to catch up over 2 boards, but we may have to major on enjoying the bridge and the commentary more than the suspense.
Another good 11, another both vulnerable, another pass.
He doesn't sound too happy about it exactly. This is a nice 11 count because of Queen Jack 10 of diamonds and the other 2 10s, and even the 8s are looking not too terrible. But some of us do and some of us don't, and it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is what partner expects from us. So if he habitually keeps jumping to 3 trumps on 12 and 11 counts, then we have to hold back and not open these hands. Now, of course, there's no way the bidding is not going to go 1 trump, 3 trumps. And a 5-card suit is the best length to lead from against 3 trumps, so it's an obvious 4th highest heart from Desi. And De Cler has an interesting play problem. He can count a couple of hearts, a couple of spades, ace of clubs is 5, ace of diamonds is 6. If the diamond finesse works, he seems to have 3 extra tricks and 9 tricks if diamonds are free too. But if the diamond finesse works now, then it will also work later. So we don't have to put all our eggs in one basket and go for the diamond finesse straight away. We could first try to possibly set up a trick in one of the black suits. We could try and do something in spades, play for spades 3-3 or some interesting honest dropping, or we could try to generate an extra trick in clubs. We can do all this and then still take the diamond finesse later. It's hard to say which of the black suits gives the best prospect. We could consider cashing a high spade just to see what seems to be going on in the spade suit. If we're going to play clubs, it's very tempting to try and run the queen of clubs first. So now he's started doing something in clubs, and as he is in dummy, he will take the down finesse now to see what's going on. But Desi will win the king of diamonds and clear the hard suit. And unfortunately for De Cler, he can see now Desi led the 4 and continued with the 3 of hearts, so he knows now the hearts are most likely 5-3. And he's pretty certain he will go off. Of course, we take the 3 high diamonds now. There are situations where the opponents can come under pressure, especially the south hand. If the south has the jack of clubs and some interesting spade holdings, could very easily be squeezed. All roads led to the same place on this hand, so that's 1 off and 100 to north-south.
I'm going to bid 2 hearts, which shows 5 plus hearts and 10 to 12 points in our system.
Okay, that makes my neck hair stand on end, opening 2 hearts, all vulnerable with that hand. I would be far too scared of ending up in a double par score in hearts, where it turns out I don't have a single trump trick. But bidders do better than pulses. This will run around to East, who seems to have a normal tuner trumpet, and he will be raised to 3. So same contract, obviously, and quite clearly the same lead. But here Declare has some additional information. Because of the opening bid, he knows that the majority of high card points is with South, and South is likely to have at least one and possibly both the minor suit kings. He also knows that there is no chance that hearts are 4-4, they're either 5-3 or 6-2. And if anyone is likely to be shorter in spades, it's surely South. What all this means is that he has an additional plan in his bag, and that is to try to M-play South with hearts later on in the hand, to hopefully lead away from the king of clubs. Let's see how he goes about it.
It looks like I will make 2 spades, 2 hearts, 1 club, and if the diamond finesse works, I can make it. Considering we have 26 points, it is unlikely that the finesse works, and even if it does, North may have King 9 fourth, so yet again I won't take 4 diamond tricks. I will rather play diamonds from my hand. Maybe I will be lucky to drop a singleton king offside. And if this doesn't work, I will play for end playing South, so let's see how it goes.
Yes, clearly if there was a convenient entry to dummy, he would take the diamond finesse, but there isn't. If he plays either a heart or a club to the ace, he would squander his M-play chances. So this looks better. There is an old saying about 3 new trumps, and that is, where there's 8, there's 9. And it's concerning these hands that pop up so often, where there is an end play for 9 tricks, as long as you choose the right line. Once he's made up his mind, the play is now fairly straightforward. He will cash the diamonds and cash the top spades and throw South in with a heart. His only problem is if South decides to come down to a singleton king of clubs and has 4 hearts to cash. And in order to put some doubts in the Claret's mind, the Jack of Clubs might have been a better shot.
Okay, so it looks like Sal started with 1 spade and 3 diamonds. He also discarded 2 clubs, so he now has either 4 hearts and pair king of clubs, or 3 hearts and king double turning clubs. The discards felt smooth. I will play for the end play, and if he has led a bear king, well done to him.
I've been end played. My opening bid gave away the position, unfortunately.
A very nicely played hand by Shivko, and a well-deserved swing to the European team.
So here's one instance of bidders not doing better than passes. The extra information and some good tactical thinking from Zhivko brings the IntoBridge team a much-needed 12 imps. The Chinese team now leads by 29 to 12 as we head into the last board.
And so we have reached the last board where West has dealt and picked up a 5-5 11 count and will probably open a heart. It's common for many pairs today to use the raise to 2 hearts as somewhat constructive. What those people do is they bid 1 no trump with this kind of hand and then admit to having a few hearts later on if possible.
We play good bad 2 no trump here, so I can't bid clubs directly. This will have to do for now.
Partners 2 spades is a normal overcall, usually an opening hand, 5 good cards or 6 cards. I like my hand a lot, to be honest, and I feel tempted to bid 4 spades, but I think I'll just bid 3 hearts, a good raise in spades, and partner can jump to 4 spades if she's not a minimum hand. I don't know, I like my hand, but I don't have an obvious source of tricks, obvious entries. I have something in every suit, but I don't have the picture of how do we make it if partner is a minimum hand, and we are not vulnerable, so I don't feel pushy. I'll just bid 3 hearts, good raise in spades, and leave it up to partner.
And partner will have no trouble bidding game, I'm assuming. Now this good bad 2 no trump that West alluded to, it's a method whereby you bid 2 no trumps as a puppet to 3 clubs with weakish hands that only want to compete, and if you bid a suit directly instead of 2 no trumps, you're showing a stronger and a better hand. So Desi and Stefan reaching 4 spades easily, and of course there's nothing to the play. They're off a trump trick and the ace of clubs. After roughing the jack of clubs in dummy, Desi will almost certainly play ace and another spade. She doesn't want to lose a quick spade and then maybe suffer a diamond off. And also West has opened the bidding and really ought to have one of the spade owners. And that feels like a very standard 450 to finish off this set. And then we have reached board 8 at this table as well, and of course the auction has started the same way. A hard pass, a no trump here as well. I personally don't believe the south hand is strong enough to double first and then bid spades. The spades should probably be a little bit better for that. So straightforward 2 spade over call. And here West just bids a natural 3 clubs. The auctions are very similar, but I believe that North has a little bit more of a reason to just jump to 4 spades here. And why could that be? That's because West has introduced clubs and North is short, so it could be that East wants to support clubs. And the higher we force him to do so, the better it is for us. So a 4 spade bid now would force East to bid 5 clubs if he wanted to show his support, while now he can get away with 4 clubs. I like South's 4-diamond bid very much. It claims ownership of the hand, so that if East-West goes on to try and save in 5 clubs, both North and South know that 4 spades was expected to make and they have plenty of defense. And of course it could lead to the odd slam sometimes. Here as well, there's absolutely nothing to the play. Indeed, I predict it will follow the same line and end up with the same 450.
And that's exactly what happens, so we can skip straight through to the claim here. No swing on this last board then, and a final score of 29-12 to the Chinese team. Congratulations to them, and many thanks to all for some highly enjoyable bridge, as well as to Nick, of course, whose insightful commentary adds so much to the viewer's experience. Nick will feature as a player in our next video, a challenge between a team of professionals and a team of Patreon supporters. So look out for that, and please do consider joining that generous gang who make all of our work possible. And you too could have some fun competing against the experts. Find out more at www.patreon.com/NTBridge.
Please, allow me to show you something.